It's just fun.
You are now tuned into In the Mind of I. I am your host, Gary, formerly known as the BPRC podcast. And we decided to change it up a little bit. We'll go into details why. But like any other podcast that we've ever done, we want to make sure that you feel the vibe first, because this is about positivity and love, and none of that is ever going to change. Welcome to the In My Mind, because in my mind I figured that I would do something different, or honestly, we had to change the name because we are no longer living in China. So we are going to just talk about things that are on my mind. And when we get back to China, we will go back to BPRC. But nonetheless, the format doesn't change. The show doesn't change. The energy doesn't change. And we are here to spread love as always. So, in essence, we have to go into the next portion, which is the thankfulness of God, because you gotta have God intertwined into everything. So here we go.
So much in my heart, I wanna change it, Lord.
I need ya.
So much in my heart, I wanna change it, Lord. So much in my heart, I wanna change it, Lord.
I need ya.
I wanna change it, Lord. So much in my heart, I wanna change it, Lord. So much in my heart, I wanna change it, Lord. So much in my heart.
And that is our give grace to God, as we always do in every episode. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. I'd like to apologize for the wait. I'd like to apologize for the distance, but quite honestly, man, you know, COVID things happen, man, and life happens, and sometimes you have to prioritize and take away and just take breaks from things in order to give attention to other elements of your life, you know. And again, you know, doing this by yourself and just speaking out of pure honesty, doing this by yourself is not the easiest thing to do. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes preparation. So I apologize, but we're back now, so none of that. So today we are going to discuss episode 15, which is Single Mothers Are Strong. And in my mind, I was thinking, wow, we should talk about how single mothers have coped through the COVID now that the vaccine is available for phase 1. And eventually this COVID thing will be over. But how have single mothers been coping? And today we're going to have a guest who is a single mother. Her name is Candace. And we're going to talk to her about what she did and what advice she had for folks who are still in that realm, individual moms who are still, you know, just trying to make it work, man, still trying to survive, and what challenges they are facing. Okay. So without further ado, let's give her a call. Let's bring her into the conversation and, you know, welcome. So, Candace, we are talking about single mothers today, and you know, you and I have a lot of really good conversations about everything. So I figured, you know, we have a little conversation about what you've been going through, and you know how we can help some of these folks out here. What you say?
I'll certainly do my best.
Yeah, you know, I mean, no pressure, of course. Never any pressure. So I guess let me intertwine. Let me just interject with this and get you started, get your brains flowing a little bit. So we had this conversation many months ago, and maybe it might be outdated, but I think it's probably still relevant to where the COVID is, even though we are towards the end. But you had mentioned that being a single mom during COVID, during the heightened portion of COVID, that it was mentally draining. So can you kind of expand a little bit on that, of what you meant when you said mentally draining?
I mean, well, it's mentally draining because for most moms, their kids are with them, and they are now, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. So you're the mom. You still have to. You're the mom and dad first and foremost. If you're a single parent, you're a single mother. You're the mom and dad. Then you have to now be the teacher and the cook, so that you weren't preparing before. Now you have to prepare and snacks, and it's a lot. So it's very, very mentally draining. It's almost to the point of like spirit breaking.
So spirit breaking. What do you mean? What do you mean? Elaborate on that, spirit breaking. So how is it different? How is the pressure of being single mom in COVID different from the pressure of being a single mom in the regular year?
Well, you have assistance during the regular year. Your kids go to school. That's valuable you time. Even if you're not one of the moms that can sit on the couch and eat bonbons, even if you're still busy, it's a different kind of busy than when your children are present and looking for you to fill an educational void. It's different. So you have a break from the kids, and it's so vital, I think, for parents to have a break from their kids and for the kids to have a break from the parents. But you're not getting that in COVID, so it's very tough.
So now I remember you saying that. I remember you saying needing a break from the kids. So you had mentioned needing a break from being a mom. What's the difference between needing a break from the children and needing a break from being a mom?
Well, sometimes some of my happiest times are when I'm home and my kids are home, but they're in a completely different room and they want nothing from me. They've had their meal, they have their snacks, they have everything they need, and they're just in there watching television. So at that point, I get the gratification of closeness with my children because they're in proximity to me.
Right.
But they don't want anything from me. So I'm ecstatic. It's one of the best times.
So it's okay,
so get a break from being a mom.
This is in my mind. So in my mind, it's okay to say that your most exciting moment is when you're home and the kids are not home. That's okay, because I felt the hesitation in your voice. It's okay. It's okay to say that you don't want them around for a second.
I'm a special order item. There is a level of paranoia that I possess that is a completely different topic, I would say, that makes it hard for me to be away from my children right now. So yeah, when I say if they're here and leaving me alone, that's fantastic for me. Mm-hmm. If they're not here and leaving me alone, sometimes my mind will say, well, what are they doing? Well, who's around them? What's going on over there? So in that respect, they're still in the front of my mind if I'm here and they're here. They're the first thing from my mind because they're so close.
So I think it's interesting.
That makes sense.
I think it's an interesting notion what you said about paranoia, but again, we're specifically talking about being a single mother during COVID. And it's important for me to say that probably you are not alone, first of all, and all single moms have basically the same issues, and probably some even moms who are not single, right? They probably have the same abilities. And and you had mentioned that it's what was the word you used? You had a high level of what was the word you used when you talked about not wanting them to be away from you?
You mean like my paranoia?
Yeah, your paranoia. So is paranoia the same as, because remember, before you had mentioned the inability, your concern was the inability to help your children. So is paranoia and the inability to help your children the same thing during a pandemic or during the pandemic? This is the only one we've ever experienced.
No, because it's a different need. So for me, it's hard to explain, but essentially, if I feel like if it's no pandemic, the needs are different. The needs and wants for me are different than during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. They're much more intensified during the pandemic.
Right. So, I remember you said, okay, so this is going to bring it back to one of my favorite.
Oh my God. I'm almost afraid for you to say what I said, but let's go ahead.
One of my favorite Candace slogans. The pandemic is a suck fest, right? So you definitely need to patent that, and we definitely need to put that on a shirt. And you said that it was a suck fest because lonely is more visible. Can like, what does that mean? Lonely is more visible. It's like, so here's my question to you: are single mothers more lonely?
100%.
Is it more lonely? Like, is it more visible to be lonely in the pandemic than it would have been in any other situation?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. For instance, as a single woman, for all those in radio land, I'm single. So as a single woman, in regular times, I barely notice it because either I'm at the movies, or I'm at dinner, I'm with friends, I'm very social. So the only time that you're like, oh wow, wait a minute, I'm single, are kind of like the late night, or when you catch some ridiculous Lifetime movie and you watch it and you're like, oh God, I'm single. But in general terms, it's not really on my brain that much. And now in the pandemic, when we're restricted, we can't go out, things are closed, you spend more time with yourself, which is great for self-reflection and kind of building yourself and taking an opportune time to improve upon yourself and become a better you. In terms of a relationship or being by yourself, it does make it the fact that you are single more prominent and kind of at the forefront of your brain because there's nothing to distract you. There's no pretty thing to distract you from the truth of being single.
Yeah, okay. So all this comes down to really what you're mad at is the fact that you can't be social. Okay, so let's just talk about that. Let's just really what you're upset is the fact that you can't go out there and find you a mate.
Well, see, here's the thing. For all the single women listening, I don't think that the pandemic is the be-all, end-all of you finding a mate. There's still other avenues. You can do online dating. You can always get the old school friend hookup. There's a lot of ways that you can meet people. However, the school friend hookup. I miss the personal, in-person kind of meeting of people because I'm an old school kind of gal. I'm not really built for technology, love that kind of sort of thing. So I much prefer the organic way. Yeah. But that doesn't mean.
So can you?
If you're not, then you.
So we've been friends for a little while now. Can you just kind of explain what the old school friend hookup is? Okay, guys.
Hookup. It's two parts. The first one is where you literally have a friend who knows you and that friend knows somebody else and you're like, hey, I think you guys would be great together, and they hook you up. The second meaning of the old school friend hookup is you have a friend that is a male, there's a mutual attraction to one another, and you're able to, form a nice organic relationship and build on that based off of the fact that you were friends first.
Oh, so it's okay to just say a friend would benefit or a fuck buddy or something like that. Is that kind of what you mean?
And listen, I'm not, well, in a perfect world, no. In a perfect world, it's, as I said, the damaging Lifetime movie, which is a whole nother talk show about how they lure you into thinking that something is possible when it's really not. Bless their hearts. But no, what I mean to say is I don't think there's anything wrong with friends benefits or, as you so eloquently put it, fuck buddies.
Okay, great.
I don't think there's anything wrong
Okay,
with
great.
that.
All right, great. We're gonna shelve that right there because then that's gonna take us into a whole nother direction. And but it does transition well into the next portion. So I broke this episode down into three reflections, right? So there's mentally drained. There's mental drain. There's the community resources, and then there's focus on self-improving. So let's get into the community resources, which your partner in crime can fall into the community resources. But what other tips would you give? Would you give moms out there struggling to coexist or cope or deal with being single mom, especially if you have more than one child? What resources, what tips would you give them?
Yeah, in COVID right now is very tough. I mean, in general terms, financial survival as a single mother is tough. But in COVID, especially when there's loss of income because, jobs are shutting down, you really have to be aware of what is out there in the community. And one of the best things I tell people all the time is 211. People have this association with 211 like, oh, that's just for poor people or that's for what? No, it's for people who want to use the community resources that are available. And you will be surprised how many people use 211 that you would never even think would be dialing 211, but they are aware of resources and they're going to use them. And I think that's very smart. So 211, you can all.
And 211, and no, I just wanted to make sure I get the point across that 211 is nationwide. That's not a statewide service.
Yes.
That's a nationwide service. So no matter where you are in the United States, you dial 211, you can ask about resources that are open to you in that state or in that community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's services from child care to help with bills to mental health to food, to clothing, job resources. It's a wealth of resources. You just have to pick up the phone and dial 211. So that's one of my favorites because it branches off to so many different things.
Okay.
The other one that I really like.
Yeah, go ahead.
Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace is excellent because
You're breaking up a little bit.
Almost all the time instantaneous. I love Facebook Marketplace. It's a great place especially if you have multiple kids, they need clothes. They grow like weeds. I know this. So you can always get secondhand clothes from there. You can get furniture from everything you can think of under the sun. You can get from Facebook Marketplace, and you can get it more times than not at a very, very reasonable discount. I recommend looking at the first of the month and at the last of the month because at that time people are moving and or looking for rent, trying to get money for rent. So those are the times that they're really willing to negotiate and sell their items.
So look up Candace on Facebook because she is a Facebook Marketplace guru, right? Professional expert, and she can help you find just about anything on Facebook Marketplace. All right, so we got 211. We got Facebook Marketplace for for fiscal products that fall into a single mom's budget. And then what else we have?
Yeah.
You had mentioned like your local churches. What do your local churches provide?
Absolutely. Another resource that you get from back to 211. You call 211. There's a plethora of churches in any neighborhood, and they're always giving away food and clothing and other resources, toiletries, stuff that we ladies need. They give away shower products, all sorts of things that local churches give to you free of charge. You just have to show up and collect it. And if you don't have a car, which I understand some people don't, a lot of these churches will deliver. You just have to make arrangements with the pastor.
Okay, so reach out to your pastors, reach out to your churches, and then just because I know you had used these resources before, you want to check your internet sites such as maybe like cheapism.com, your elearners.com, your upwork.com, even
yes, love Upwork.
Yeah, even if Walmart is very useful because people don't realize this, but here in Massachusetts, Walmart takes EBT cards, and that is our food stamp card. So I'm sure if they do it in this city, they probably do it in every city online, and this is for online deliveries, so that you don't have to go to the store if you're getting food stamps,
right,
or whatever. That's a really, 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 really useful
and if you
tool.
didn't know, also Amazon also takes food stamps.
Amazon also takes food stamps, you see. So here's the war of e-commerce, right? Everything is able to be purchased online right now. So that's good. Make sure you double take that, rewind that. So, but Candace, we got one more thing to discuss. But before we discuss that,
okay,
here on the what we used to be called the BPRC. So in my mind, I like to break things up a little bit, and we play games. So we are going to play a game called Blackout.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, Blackout. I'm going to give you 30 seconds, and you are
God.
Yes. And you are going to name since this is a single mother's episode, I want you to name as many necessary items that a single mom needs.
Oh God.
And it could be any. It could be no wait. You gotta wait till I say go. It could be any. It could be any item you want. Okay. All right, you ready? Because I done gave you an extra 10 seconds to think about stuff. Go.
I can still lift off.
Go.
Okay, we need a very comfortable pillow, a very comfortable bed. We need time. It would have to be actual items, huh? We need a personal nightstand item. We need God, there's so much stuff that we need. We need to treat ourselves to a meal at least once a week. I know it's tight, but you got to do that for your own mental sanity. Treat yourself to something nice every week. Oh God, it's
Okay.
I can kill you, Gary, because like there's so much things. Like
Yeah.
honestly.
Well, that's why it's called blackout. Because you literally black out when the time starts. You think you know so many, and then when that 30 seconds time is ticking, you black out.
Right. I'm just,
Okay.
my mind, I'm trying to prioritize what I can get out. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
You just gotta let it go. So that was 30 seconds. That was blackout. All right. So I got one more for you. All right.
Oh Lord.
This one is called alphabet soup. All right.
Oh God.
So I'm gonna
Okay.
give you a letter. Okay. And I need you to say as many words that begin with that letter that you can possibly think of.
Oh,
They can be it
that's
could be
horrible.
it could be any word, but it just can't be a name. All right.
Okay.
You ready? I'm gonna boost this. I'm gonna boost this to 45 seconds.
Oh, you're too kind, sir. 45 seconds of humiliation instead of 30. Okay, great. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, let's do 40 seconds. Let's do 40. All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right, you ready? All right, go.
You didn't give me the letter.
Oh shit, you right. All right, let's go with okay. So okay, that's an epic failure. All right, so since this is a mom show, let's go with the letter M.
M?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, ready? Go.
Milk. Oh my God. Milk. Magic potion. Mice. Michigan. Massachusetts. Masseuse. Massage. Moose. Mastectomy. Mustard. Mayonnaise. Oh God. Massage.
Said it twice.
Oh God. Did I say milk? I can't remember. I said milk the first time.
Okay.
Man. Oh God, I forgot. A man.
No, you got 12. But interesting enough,
Baby Jesus.
in my mind, all I could really focus on was when you said mastectomy. What the hell is a mastectomy?
Oh, mastectomy. Oh, breast removal.
What is it?
It's a mastectomy. It's when you have your breast removed for whatever reason.
So ladies,
Related to cancer.
I did not know that. Candace is a medical professional as well as a Facebook marketplace professional. She has many jobs. So
Really?
we learn things here on In My Mind. And a mastectomy. We've learned what a mastectomy is. So I appreciate that. So you got 12. That's actually really good. You did wonderful. Like you was one of the few people.
Terrible.
No, well, it's not the record. The record is 20. But you had the formula. You just didn't realize you had the formula. And I'll tell you.
The word association.
Yes.
Like the mayo, mustard, mayonnaise, that thing.
Yep.
Okay, I kind of figured that at the very end. But I would like to say that I deserve another chance, maybe not today, another time, because to tell me I got 12 and then throw right in after that, but the record is 20.
Yeah.
Like my competitive self.
Yeah. No. Oh, trust me. I'll give you another chance. We won't ever play that game again, but because you'll be expecting it. so well, don't worry. So, but that just needed that for a little breakup. Now we're going to get back into the topic, which is why single mothers are so strong, especially during the time of this pandemic and being basically moms, teachers, business owners, chefs, babysitters, everything you can possibly think of, trying to be professionals, occupants, you know what I mean, all from their home. So I think the last part of that reflection was we talked about why it was mentally draining, and then we gave the listeners some resources to use. And now I think it's important for us to focus on how to improve yourself during the rest of this pandemic as a single mom, so that when this pandemic is over, you are better equipped to meet the world's realities, right? Or go back to your old life. All right. So I think you had mentioned the main thing was not to panic, right? So can you elaborate that a little bit? What do you mean when you say don't panic?
It's just so simple. You cannot come up with viable solutions when you're panicked. When you're panicked, you get desperate and you make desperate decisions. They're usually the wrong decisions, bad decisions, and you regret it later. So it's better to just, even though you may be in a bad spot, you have to step back and just make a non-emotional, non-panic decision.
Okay, so don't panic. Don't get too overwhelmed when things just seems like you got too much going on. That'll cause you to make some crazy decisions. Take a step back, and here's where the coaching side of me comes out. You know, if you ever find yourself in that position, you take a step back and just realize that you are in control, and it is okay to allow yourself not to keep going for a second, right? Take your foot off the gas, hit the brake, put the car in park. I don't care what the situation is, whether it's your job, your family life, whatever. It's okay to put the car in park and just sit there before you start driving again. Okay? So
and it's also okay to cry.
Yeah, okay, and that's important too, because crying is the cleansing of the soul, is it not?
It is cleansing, and there's many a times where I have cried my pillow to soaking status. But at the end of it, I feel better, and I'm able to look at the issue, wherever it is, with new eyes. So it's definitely okay to cry. I don't care anybody thinks that's weak or whatever, and I mean that for men and women. You should definitely, as Gary said so eloquently, cleanse the soul and have a cry. That's
yeah, because in my mind, crying is good. I had me. Well, no, I'm not gonna say that. But listen, I put the car in park the other day and had me a nice little Jesus week. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was good. It was wonderful actually. All right, so what else are we discussing? Let's discuss the fact that what kind of skills are useful to build in this time and space? Because you said I think it's good to build skills, right? But what skills are useful to build?
See, now that's a hard question, and it's only because the skills you need are really dependent on what it is that you want to do or pursue in life after COVID. But I think basic skills are definitely people skills. If you're a shy person, it's nothing wrong with being shy, but you definitely need to work on boosting your confidence, because getting to know people is going to be able to make valuable connections that may lead you to, where you want to be. So I definitely would build my confidence in speaking with people if I was shy. I definitely would take some time to read a book, because books are great. That knowledge is good for an internal boost, of self-concept, and it helps when you're out in the world and people understand that you have opened the book and there's some context and content to what you're saying. So
correct.
I would definitely do that.
All right, so we've got. What about on top, just to chime in on what you just said, I think that is probably important for us to also build clerical skills and administrative skills, because even if you don't use admin and clerical skills to get a job, maybe it's not the job for you, but whatever job you have, being organized is imperative.
Yeah.
It's absolutely an important factor in whatever professional success you're going after. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And learn to budget. Now is the time to learn to budget.
Learn to budget. That's important.
This is definitely a time to learn how to budget, because even if you, as Gary said, you don't use it in your job, which 9 times out of 10 you will, but even if you don't use it at your job, you still need to budget your household, which kind of goes back to a previous segment, but
yeah,
you need to learn how to budget.
Take up some things that you weren't prepared to do, like become a coupon clipper. You know what I mean?
Oh, I love couponing.
I know, that's why I said it, because
Yes.
I already know you like that.
Yes.
And so the last thing was, you had mentioned it's important to be aware of your individual skill set and how to utilize that skill set that you were given into the market that you want to go. Because I think this is all about transition, right? We're all transitioning into something. We don't know what we're transitioning into, but some of us, we're all looking to transition into something else. Either you're excelling in what you were already doing, or you're transitioning into something else. So be aware of the skill set that you already possess, and it's probably easier to just build off that. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that is there anything that you wanted to add to that, or anything else you need to say?
No, I agree with you. I think it's very important to be aware of self and the skill set you possess. And use the time to build self-concept is so important. And it'll take you so far. You don't realize how important it is to have a good self-concept until you develop it, and then you see just how much your world can open up. So,
all right, so I think...
I guess that's my final thing.
No, it's not, because I'm about to give you... All right, so go ahead and plug yourself. Give us your contact information. And this is your moment to what you want to say to the listeners. If you want to say anything to the listeners, go ahead and give them a shout.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna plug myself. I will just say this. I am on Facebook, Candy Pepper. By all means, hit me with a friend request. If you have any questions, you can inbox me. I think the only thing I really want people to take away, single mothers in particular, is it's not about the battle, it's about the war. So even if you feel as though you're not excelling at A, B, or C, look at the long picture. This is just a moment in time. This is just a short story, not the whole book. So don't take a loss so personally, and use every opportunity to grow. Turn a negative into a positive. When you can do that, the world is your oyster, because that's the skill that transcends it.
Okay, well, Candice, Candida. Yeah. Okay, I'd like to thank you for your time, and hope that you enjoy your day. And let's talk again soon. And I appreciate you joining us.
Absolutely, sir.
All right.
Pleasure being here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye. Well, that was Miss Candice, and Miss Candice has a very good perspective on being a single mom, because she's a single mom. She's also a medical professional, so she's a first responder. and she's also a Facebook genius, right? In terms of a Facebook marketplace genius, I should say. So we definitely appreciate her being here. But you know how we do. It's no different. Even though it's not called the BPRC anymore, in my mind today, this is how I'm feeling. I am feeling like we just need to pick it up the vibes a little bit and get it going. Let's do a list. I love a list, and this is a list of the top 10 things students around the world said that they remembered and loved most about their mothers, following the theme. 1, they come into their bedroom at night and tuck them in and sing them a song. They also tell them stories about when they were little. Okay, so it's very interesting. Like, tell your children what it was like you being little, so that they can relate to, so that they know you relate to them. The second thing was give me hugs. They gave them hugs and kisses and sit and talk with me privately. So it's known that children love to be spoken to on one with their parents anyway, with their mothers one-on-one. Spend quality time just with them, not with their brothers or sisters around. So you have to individualize your children, right? Spend time with each individual child because they are their own folks, and not with them together all the time, right? Show them that you recognize that they're independent. 5, they give nutritious food so they can grow up healthy. Believe it or not, kids they want sugar food. They want food that's bad for you, but they're not opposed to eating healthy. It's just a matter of allowing them time to adapt. Kids, they are what they eat, right? So you just got to give them time and let them know, like, no, if they don't taste a burger, they don't crave a burger, right? 6, at dinner, talk about what we could do together on the weekend. So let your children know that you're a planner, that you're planning something special for you and them in the next coming days, weeks, months, whatever. Talk about your future plans and what you want to do with them. Help them dream. That'll help them dream. 7 or 6, at night, talk to me about anything, love, school, family, depending on the age of your child. Make sure you speak to your children about school. Make sure you speak to your children about family, love, etc., etc. Just specific topics, right? Let them play outside a lot. This is absolutely important. This is more important than maybe having personal conversations, right? Giving your kids the opportunity to be social and letting them know not to be house sitters, right? Go outside, find out what's outside, get into something that's not dangerous, but let them explore their limitations. They said number 9, they like to cuddle outside under blankets and watch their favorite TV show together. Or they like to cuddle under blankets. So believe it or not, kids love that quality, affectionate time. Those hugs and those kisses, growing up, I was never a hug and kiss guy. As they get older, as a child, as you get older, they kind of shy away from the hugs and the kisses. But when they're little, they absolutely love to be hugged and kissed and caressed, right? That companionship, that love, it's a stronghold in determining the kind of person that they will become. Okay. Next up is discipline. Children like to be disciplined, or teenagers, whatever. Your kids, they like to be disciplined. Just not disciplined to the point where they feel like it's over security, right? It's you don't want them to feel like, oh my God, like you have no leeway, like you're over controlling the situation. They don't want to feel like that. It makes them feel like you care about them when you discipline them. Next is the little silly notes, right? They said that children, and this is all by way of lifehack.org. It's an article from lifehack.org. Children love special messages. They love when you leave them special messages in their lunch bag or in their book bag, on their bed, just somewhere where they wasn't expecting it. And it just lets them know that you're thinking about them, lets them know that you actually understand maybe what they're going through. And you just never know what, and actually, this is not even a child thing. This is an adult thing. So even when you're an adult, for your parent to recognize that you're going through something and just give you some words of encouragement or words of wisdom is astronomically power, right? It boosts you like a rocket. You try it, and I guarantee you, no matter how old you are, you like it. So that is the show. We are going to. It felt good to get back. It just felt good to be in this space. I had to dive into some worldly, systematic structures, and it just didn't work for me, man. So now I'm back, and I hope that I can continue to be consistent. And I know I haven't been, but I really appreciate this, and I really appreciate anyone that listens. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're listening on Spotify, it's ITMOG, In the Mind of Gary. Okay, so we're going to focus on those two things right now. And Anchor, go to Anchor to hear the podcast. And it's just going to be a beautiful thing. And I hope that you enjoy it and you get something from it. If you get one thing from this podcast, then I've done my job. Okay? So we're going to leave you with the sum up. The quote. Being a single parent is not a life full of struggles, but a journey for the strong. Quote by Meg Lowry. Being a single parent is not a life full of struggles, but a journey for the strong. And that is our show for today. But before we go, we never, ever, ever leave without some good vibes. Let's go with...
It's just different. Hopeless at one point. It's just different.
Shout out to Epic the Don for supplying me with the good tracks. So, just gonna go out on a good note, and I hope that you remember to love yourself, love your family. Know that even though times have changed, doesn't mean you have to change yourself. Be who you are and continue forward. Feel the vibe. Know that you will never stop.